Hello and welcome to Safeguarding Natters. Okay, Anne-Marie, one of the biggest things that's going on at the moment, which is in keeping children safe, and I can imagine every school is trying to work out what to do with it, is sexual harassment or peer-on-peer abuse, which to start with is a big thing, having what's the difference and what kind of things we need to do. So the first thing that most schools probably try to do is get a bit of training. Trying to get staff trained. That's what we did. We had our inset, which was great. But what should DSLs be doing now? Because an hour inset isn't going to do it all. What other training? What other things should they be doing to follow up with? And how can they give staff confidence to talk about a topic like this?
Okay. So we learnt in June when the first review came out about the reality is we must have a "it is happening" approach. So we've gone from "it could happen" to "it is happening." So therefore, children in our schools, we know, have been exposed to harmful content on a daily basis from people they know, but also people they don't know. And we need to create a culture where they are invited, hence the word, and able to tell us.
Yeah.
And the barrier, so I'm emphasizing invite them to tell us, because invite means we'll welcome them in to tell us, not the barrier of if it's happening, you've got to just come all the way to me and have a very awkward conversation. So there's a whole paragraph on children should not feel guilty, embarrassed or blamed in KICSI 21. And by creating a whole culture, i.e. talking often about we know it's happening and we're here to support you, and you know you're not snitching, so kind of really burning that, deleting that snitching culture. Everyone's got the right to be respected. So I'll give you an example. I did some work in a setting in the summer, and I bumped in one of them yesterday at a conference, and I was so excited. They've created a culture in their setting of these characters around respect, consent and boundaries, from the prep, junior to the middle and the senior, okay, in the sense of different languages but the same concept, obviously because of the ages of the children. And they've got these characters that are very child friendly, and we also should have had a child friendly safeguarding policy. Okay, so the safeguarding policy is very adult led, isn't it? Very much about professionals and parents. We need to create a child centered one. So KICSI, on the .gov.uk website, hidden, there is a link to a children's version of Keeping Children Safe. And I've got mine because, you know, I'm a bit of a geek. Sorry, I apologise. So this is the version of it. Sorry, this is the working together to keep children safe one, but there's one for Keeping Children Safe. And it's outdated because it was actually published years ago, but they're revising it. So going to our question, we should have a tool, something where young people know about it in a child way. So that booklet talks about every child's got the right to be protected and safe, and have someone they can talk to about things that are worrying them, for example. That's UNICEF. So in your setting, it might be, and remember, don't just say one person. So the most effective places I've been in is when they said I can go to anyone who I feel comfortable with. We've all had our own little things where we feel upset about things, and think about as an adult, we tell people that we believe will listen and actually support us. Can you imagine if you were told as an adult, you need to go and speak to that person and you really can't because it's awkward? So we just need to create an environment where they can.
What happens though if the person they pick isn't the one that feels comfortable talking about these kind of things? Because there are
for the training.
Stuff. I get that. I agree. Training is great, but there are some staff, no matter how much training you give them, they're sitting there and that you can see their eyes, or it's triggering to them. You know, who knows what's happening in their past. Sorry, my phone's going. But what happens if it's the person that they don't feel comfortable with?
So what's happening for young people at the moment is giving them, for example, online tools. Some settings have got like a digital worry box or something like an app form of reporting. So going back to the point there, our objective is to support the young person to know we've already got availability. We already recognise it's happened, and this is where you go if you want to talk about it. So we've just got to create a culture where they know that we already know it's happening, and there's a resource for them or something in the setting, discreetly obviously, where they're able to just talk to a person about it.
Yeah.
So whether you create your own pastoral carey things or you upskill staff to recognise potentially in every class there's going to be X amount of children, you know, 90% of the children who have been exposed to this, they might want to talk to you about it. And these are the sort of things we can support you with. So it's giving staff a bit of a script, because you're absolutely right, they do feel uncomfortable talking about things, especially body parts, anything sexual in that sense. And what I tend to do, I've done it a lot this term, it's quite interesting, is DSLs, please start talking to your, and I heard it yesterday at the conference, it reminded me of masturbation, you know, penis, vagina. We just have to get used to these words in our day job, you know, explicit, you know, so words where children are going to be saying things they might have seen in pornography. Do you understand? Explicit in our head, but words that children use because they think that that's just what you use in that science sense, and understand what they're trying to tell us in that. I heard something very explicit yesterday, but it was relevant in the context of what the child wanted to tell. Do it make sense? To do with semen, but a different word for semen beginning with C, ending in M. But the point I'm making is that's what we mean, where it's a bit like saying it's a bit like saying I want to be a doctor or a nurse, but I don't like blood. Yeah. Meaning if you're working with children, you have to also take on board safeguarding, and there will be horrible things, unfortunately, that you have to deal with in your day job, which shouldn't be forced on you, but unfortunately it's the nature of the client group. So your setting really needs to put support in, and I've done quite a few where I have seen triggers. You're absolutely right, I've seen triggers, and I said to those staff, even the CEO was in this meeting, and you know, there's a guy who's quite tearful, and I said, maybe you need some time out. I just said, you know, if you're really reacting in this way, where your heart is palpitating fast, you're feeling quite lightheaded, you need to take time out, because it was really kind of daunting. So we just need to look after ourselves. You need strategic support, CEO down, you know, up, etc. And for staff and for young people. So answering your question, we've got lots of work to keep doing. And I heard a really good saying the other day, it's not a sprint, it's going to be a marathon. Yeah. So we have to continuously be doing this to get to that last line, but it's continual. You're not going to fix it the whole academic year, to the point where for the next academic year it's already in place and we know what we're doing. We've trained for that marathon, and you know what, we can jog this. You know me and my silly things. So it's something where we just have to be aware of. Every day there are going to be children in every class who's got something to tell us.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you very much.
No problem.